jump into the lesson. We've been dealing with the heart, Pharaoh's heart. And we're getting into that 8th plague, the locusts. Hopefully and prayerfully, you've learned more of how God can do whatever He wants to do. For people who don't understand God, they can be frightening. You can say that God is not fair. You can say whatever you want to say, but God is still in charge. I've learned that. But the scriptures do say God can do whatever He wants to do. And if He couldn't do whatever He wanted to do, that would actually take away from His Godship. And the whole definition of Him is that He can do all things. And that is important to know. And it also has helped me, as I taught on the lesson before, to really thank God for salvation. Because it didn't have to be that way. To not take that for granted. I guess it's the same thing I try to teach my kids. Don't take for granted living in the woods household. Just don't take that for granted. Not that we're so gracious and that we're a perfect family, but you could be living somewhere else that doesn't have the amenities that the woods household has, right? The add-ons that the woods household. And I think for Christians, we need to realize that God has saved us. How we got to that point is by grace that we saved, not of ourselves. It's the gift of God, and we need to celebrate in that and share Jesus to all that are around us, because we really don't know who are the called. Only God knows that. So He lets us take a part in His plan of all knowledge. And that's a beautiful picture. Let's go ahead and jump into our lesson tonight. Into those locusts, remember we stopped. Some of you started getting a little sick, thinking about those bugs coming into your house, so we had to give you a little break, but we're going to jump back at it, and we're going to hit it hard. Exodus 10:7 is where we stopped at last time. That Pharaoh's servant said to him, "How long shall this man be a snare to us? Let the men go, that they may serve the Lord their God. Do you not yet know that Egypt is destroyed?" The servants of the Egyptians, or the Egyptian servants, those that were under Pharaoh, they're like, okay, let them go. This has gone long enough. Egypt is falling apart. So we need to do something to get back in line, to get in order. But because Pharaoh's heart is hard, guess what? He continues to lie. He's a deceiver. And he continues to go in his own way. And you got to know, this is the way of the world. There are a few people that you can trust. Amen. Really, people will lie to you in your face, and they do a very good job of it. When we're looking at our government, people look at one person, you need to look at all of them. If they don't know Jesus, they're not saved, they'll lie to you in your face, tell you anything. So thank God for discernment. Let's go ahead and jump into this next section. Someone read Exodus 10:8 through 11.
So Moses and Aaron were brought against Pharaoh, and he said to them, "Go serve the Lord your God. Who are the ones that are going?" And Moses said, "We will go with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, with our flocks and our herds. We will go, for we must hold a feast to the Lord." Then he said to them, "The Lord had better be with you when I let you and your little ones go. Beware, for evil is ahead. Not so. Go now, you who are men, and serve the Lord, for that is what you desire." And they were driven out from Jerusalem.
All right, so we go to that line first. Underline, what did Pharaoh agree to at this point? What did he agree to? What is he telling Moses?
To let everybody go but he didn't go.
All right, is that what it said?
He said, oh, I'm sorry. You said, what did Pharaoh say?
What did Pharaoh say?
Oh.
What did Pharaoh want? Go serve your God, but what was his standards? Beware. Who are leaving? So who does he want to lead? In those verses, who does he want to lead? All right, look at that part. And Moses said, if you look at that 10th verse, so Moses and Aaron brought again to Pharaoh, and he said to them, "Go serve the Lord your God, who are the ones that are going." Moses said, "We will go with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, with our flocks and our herds, we will go, for we must hold a feast to the Lord. All right, so Moses has presented that, and then what did Pharaoh say? What is he saying? Finish that out. He said, Lord may be with you. What's the end part? What's he saying?
He's afraid.
Okay, this whole process, he's like, I'll let a piece of you go, but you're not going to take the babies too. And we see his attitude. You know, he's still trying to control the situation. Everybody can't go. A few of y'all can go, but not everybody go. And then he puts this threat out, a very powerful threat. The Lord had better be with you when I let you and your little ones go. This is a threat, but this is true. The Lord was already with them, and the Lord would be with them. And we're going to see just kind of a precursor ahead. Even Pharaoh, after they leave Egypt, Pharaoh is going to have a resurgence. He's going to come to himself, and he's going to chase them folks all the way into the Red Sea. So he is serious about this. His heart is truly hard at this point. And then beware, for evil is ahead of you. Not so. Go down, you who are men. The men can go and serve the Lord, for that is what you desire. And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. Men go, kids stay. Men, you go do your sacrifice, but your baby's got to stay. Why would he do that? Why would he say the baby's got to stay? He's holding them for ransom. You know you ain't gonna leave your babies. You know you're gonna go off, you're gonna come back for your babies. He realized that. Very smart. And I think in today's society we need to be careful. The enemy is no dummy. He knows what he's doing. I think he's infiltrating our society now through our young people. There's a generation that's being raised up, being trained in crazy things that are coming across, and I'm seeing it change.
Yes.
So quickly. Conversation change. You know, who would have ever thought you try to have a conversation with someone with a phone that's sitting there, and people are using their phone more than looking at you or connecting with you. That's becoming the way of the world. Things are coming into our lives so quickly. That commentary. Another compromise was proposed by Pharaoh as he suggested that only you who are men should go and serve the Lord, it being too dangerous for children. But such a move would only ensure their return to Egypt. So he's trying to kind of play that side, but we know his underlying, he doesn't want them to go anyway. He wants to bring back his slave work back into Egypt. Look at his next part. That's a big portion of Scripture, 12 through 15. Someone read, please.
Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts. They may come upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, all that the hail has left. So Moses stretched out his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind on the land all that day and all that night. When it was morning, the east wind brought the locust. And the locust went up over all the land of Egypt and rested on all the territory of Egypt. They were very severe. Previously there had been no such locusts as they, nor shall there be such after them. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. They ate every herb of the land and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. So there remained nothing green on the trees or on the plants of the field throughout all the land of Egypt.
Judgment. Severe judgment, but we see so much grace, and it seems like every judgment gets a little bit more. Every plague takes a little bit more. And in our lives, we've got to come to the point. I'm going to make this statement. God can be gracious while allowing plagues to come. God can be gracious by allowing plagues to come. Because oftentimes in those destructive times of our lives, it gets our attention. It breaks the hearts of those that are going to be broken, and it hardens the hearts of those that are going to be hardened. And I'm telling you, hear me, if you're going through a time, how many plagues is it going to take for you to change? What is it going to take? And I'm telling you, I'm feeling that. What is it going to take to change you? You know, what is it going to take to break you? And I want us to be sensitive. If you can hear what I'm saying today, be sensitive. That means that you are sensitive. That means that a change can be made. Because I'm telling you, God is gracious, He's kind, but that ultimate plague is going to come. And the ultimate plague, looking ahead, is going to be death. That's the ultimate plague, death of a human. Not just animals dying, but death of a human. That's what we're going to. Savannah, go ahead and read that commentary, please.
After that brief confrontation, God brought on the plague of locusts described as very grievous, unmatched before in the history of Egypt, and to be unsurpassed in its future. 1 square mile of a locust swarm contains more than 100 million insects, and modern swarms have covered as much as 400 square miles.
That's a lot of bugs. East wind just blew. We had some east winds the other day. It was that breeze was pretty hard. And I'm telling you, imagine those winds bringing in so many locusts. And I do want to focus on that underlying portion of Scripture in the 15th verse. The land was dark. There were so many bugs in the air. It was dark. And they ate every herb of the land and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. Because remember, we had all these other plagues that were going on. The hail had knocked down a lot, so the locusts came and just stripped everything that was left, so that there remained nothing green. I mean, I want you to get, we're in a greenery time now. Imagine if locusts came through and they ate so much that nothing green was left. In Greensboro, nothing green. It would look like a nuclear bomb. I mean, that's what it is. Nothing green. Nothing at all. No leaves, no fruit, no green, no grass. Hallelujah. But anyway, that's no green at all in all of Egypt, because these locusts have eaten everything. Trees are on the plants of the field throughout all the land of Egypt. So now when they walk out, they see death of the vegetation. God has allowed these plagues to come to get many's attention, but yet Pharaoh's heart is still hard. Any comments, questions? Let's look at this next section of scriptures. Someone read 16 through 18.
And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste, and said, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now therefore please forgive my sin only this once, and entreat the Lord your God that he may take away from me this death only. So he went out from Pharaoh and entered the city.
All right, let's talk about that. First thing I want to discuss, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Did he mean it or not? Why? Anybody? I'm glad that a lady said this. Because ladies tend to focus on the emotional side. If you said it one time and you didn't follow through, the next time you say it, they tend to believe you less. And as more as you keep saying it, they're like, ain't nothing going to change. And this is the issue. Pharaoh said this before. I've sinned, and look what he does. I've sinned against who? I've sinned against the Lord your God and against you. All right? And a lot of people, we come to this point when adversity hits us, especially when something severe hits our life, we run to church. Let there be war. If we want to pack out the church, pack it, people standing all around, institute the draft again. Yeah, and I'm for you institute the draft, take women too, because they won't do right, so you line them up. And just go there. I'm telling you, this church will be packed. Mama's crying, daddy's crying at the altar, kids crying at the altar. Why? Because when adversity comes, people tend to go to the Lord. Oh, Lord, help me. They call out to the Lord, but you allow the good time to come right afterwards, guess what they do? We're so finicky. Some of y'all know, you didn't know if it was going to be canceled or not. Oh, man, you prayed every night. Read this scripture. We could come to church every time. Then you found out it wasn't. Well, okay. Oh, happy days. Really, we go up and down. It's a part of our nature. Look at the second part. Now, therefore, what does he say? Please forgive.
Only this.
I heard it. I heard it. I heard it. People, just forgive me this one time. Just forgive me this one time. You know, I'm looking at all this instruction. Just forgive me this one time. He adds that, and then treat the Lord your God. That what? I have a problem with this type of prayer, this type of confession. And sometimes we do it in church. Lord, if you do this, I'll serve you. Forgive me this time so I can get what I want. It's always linked. And we got to be careful about those prayers. And it's sad because there's doctrine coming to church. You do this, and then God is required to do this. That's dangerous doctrine. Now, there are some promises. You know, God cannot lie. But the issue is, God is still God. And sometimes we can misinterpret His promises. And when it all comes to it, God doesn't owe us anything, right? He does not owe us anything. Anything He gives us is a grace gift. And I'm so glad about it. And so this whole process, Pharaoh is trying to play on that thing. Lord, forgive me this time. And then Moses, pray to your God because I'm forgiven, to stop this death. These handshake things never work with God. God can see right through us. He knows our hearts. He knows our intents. Any comments, questions? All right, yes ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Whenever we tell lies, it's harder to keep up with the lie. You can't keep up with it, so you tell them no. Or you don't even remember that you said first. So it's like Pharaoh, he can't, I don't know what, he didn't intend to do right or let people go. But, you know, it's just like anybody, like us today, we tell a lie and you have to keep up with it or remember it, and it's hard to do.
Lying. Do you realize that Scripture is very clear in this? No liars shall enter into the kingdom. No liars. That's one of the first things early in my life as a teenager. God helped me with lying. I was never a good liar. I told you. When I lied, I was like Pinocchio. Instead of my nose growing, my mom was laughing. I turned red. And I started studying. Because I couldn't get it right. And I did. When I started telling lies, I would turn deep red, and my words wouldn't come, and I would start sweating. If it was a real big lie, I would start cramping. My whole back was spasming. I mean, really. And I realized, man, liars, you're going straight to hell. You really are. So get saved. And if you're saved, really, the temptation to lie be there, but God will deal with it. You can't go far, so you have to go back, Lord, forgive me. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do this again, and you really mean it. Pharaoh has become comfortable with his lying because his heart is hard. He'll say anything to get what he wants at this point. Look at this next part. Go ahead, Brother Rob.
It's very interesting to know that these days, we as people, when you start lying, you start stealing. Lying and stealing go hand by hand. I get to know that when I'm very young, and I realized that like you, I don't know how to lie. I don't know how to make up lies.
You didn't turn red.
The more you start to lie, the easier it becomes for you to steal. So the two of them actually go together, and that is one thing that I always tell my friends, you know what? Don't lie to us, because the moment you start doing that, every money you put around everybody, you put them into your pocket.
Amen.
Then you start stealing, you don't do that.
Amen.
You lie, you know. So it's very interesting to know what lying is in your life.
Amen. Opens up.
Apart from that, there's also add more other things to our book.
You're right. Good. Yes, sir.
I found out I couldn't steal when I was really young. I used to sell my ale bottles for money to Little Stevens grocery store, the fork that comes through road and the wheelbarrow. I rolled with the wheelbarrow up there, sold the bottle, then I stole something out of there. And I shook, I sweat, it worried me to death that night. So I said, Lord, I know this is not for me. So I don't steal and I don't lie
God will deal with you. That's how we see Pharaoh is a long way from God. He is against God. Because I'm telling you, if you're lying, you're stealing, and you're saved, you can't continue on that path. The Lord is going to convict you, and you're going to change your ways. You just are. Look at this next part. Someone read Exodus 10, 19, and 20.
And the Lord turned a very strong west wind, which took the locusts away and blew them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the territory of Egypt. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the children of Israel go.
What wind brought the locusts? What wind takes the locusts away? Isn't that cool? I just think that's cool. God was in control of the wind. I do a lot of nature things are happening. Strange occurrences. And I think God can get our attention through weather formations and how things. I saw this in Italy. I got a picture of this strange cloud that I've never seen before in my life. I'm seeing more of those strange things. And I believe that God is just giving us an awareness. I'm in charge. Be aware, I'm in charge. So he takes that west wind, he pushes out all the locusts. Because remember, there's a prayer. There's a prayer of Pharaoh. Now, I don't think he's necessarily answering the prayer of Pharaoh. Who's he answering the prayer of? Moses. Moses is the intercessor, and God has a bigger plan. God has to get to another level. So the locusts have to be taken away. God is orchestrating the hardening of Pharaoh's heart, so this is going to come. And so a lot of times we misinterpret answered prayers. Really, because God is up to something bigger. Our prayers are so short sometimes. Short-sighted, in that we can only see, like a step ahead. And so that's what we're praying for. But God sees the whole plan. And that's why I encourage you. I encourage you to pray in your prayers. God, I'm praying the best of my ability, but not my will. Let your will be done. Now, it's tough. I know there's a lot of doctrinal backgrounds, and we can know the will of God. I believe in knowing the will of God. It's just sometimes we don't know ourselves. Okay, a lot of times we don't know ourselves. Our intents and our emotional status that's in there, God knows everything. So he can direct our prayers better. Go ahead and read that commentary, whoever's reading, please.
After the locusts came, Pharaoh admitted, I have sinned. It is commendable to recognize one's sin. But in Pharaoh's case, he was not sorry for his sin, but only for the results of it. The locusts which he turned with death, once they were removed, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, ruling the surrounding circumstances, and he continued to refuse to allow Israel to go.
All right, this is key. The locusts are blown with a west wind, and where they drop? Keep that. All right, so all those locusts, it was so dark, they're in the Red Sea. All right, and hopefully I'll remember some things when we get to the Red Sea experience. There's some things that have to be cleaned up because those locusts that are there, they have to deteriorate. All right, they're going to go to the bottom of that bed. So God's going to do something miraculous in the Red Sea just to get them across. Also here, notice, but the Lord did what? I want you to hear it. Scriptures are clear. What did he do? Deal with it. Deal with it. And I know it's tough, but it's scripture. I went through Romans. I showed you he's the potter, we're the clay. He can do whatever he wants to do. You can get mad at the potter all you want to, but guess what? You're still the clay. You can say, Potter, you shouldn't have made me this way. Okay? You're still the clay. Whatever you want to do, you're still the clay. We will never be God. God is always God. It's clear within this scripture, Pharaoh's heart was hardened by God so that God's plan could be perfect. Yes, sir.
Well, you look at that scripture where it said, but God hardened his heart. And you mentioned the bigger picture, that God was also trying to show his people that he's a God, that he's God, and that sin will not be tolerated.
That's key.
Because when I looked at that, I said, well, God hardened his heart for a reason.
Amen.
And it was also, the bigger picture, as you mentioned, that he's going to be, where the journey that he had set for them was also to teach them that, hey, this is, if you make a wrong choice, this is what's going to end up in your life.
And that's the way God, we have rules and regulations, right? If you never saw anybody get pulled over for a speeding ticket, Richard said he would just speed all the time, which he probably already does, but when you think of that whole process, if you never saw that, man, you just be going. But it takes every now and then, seeing a police officer pull someone else to slow you down. Slow you down. You know, because you become aware of it, and this is the bigger plan. God has to show even his people, judgment is for real. But you know what? Again, good times away from judgment sometimes helps us or gets us to the point of taking God for granted. It helps us really get to the point of taking God for granted. Philip, you had your hand up.
Oh, I was just going to say, too, about it is a lot of times people get stuck in the whole idea of why would God do this, or there has to be a reason why God had to do this, or there's stuff. And it's a big misconception where they believe, okay, God will show you the reason for everything. He'll show you why that person's heart was hardened or why that person's heart was open. But in general, God is way bigger than anything that we could ever really imagine or conceptually idealize in our heads. So it's like a person who is outside of time, who is all-powerful, all-knowing, and just all-merciful and grace. We're assuming that this is exactly the way that he would want it, and this is exactly why he did these various things. But I think if we really went in and asked him and said, hey, why did you harden Pharaoh's heart? He'd have this totally different idea that would be even better than anything we could imagine, but we just have to trust that he knows what he's doing and stop looking for the reasons past it, but just say, okay, God, I know you did this, I know you put it in the Bible, I'm going to trust that you know what you're doing.
God holds the equation. Math is an interesting thing. Growing up, I got a geometry award, great in geometry. Calculus, I had an issue because they always give me the answer and I have to work towards the answer. And somehow their answers didn't meet mine. Really, I had some struggles. Really, I had some struggles with the teacher. I went through every step, and this is my answer. I'm happy with my answer, but your answer is not needed. And guess what? I always got it wrong. I always got it wrong because he was a teacher, and his answer was right. And he would take me through where I thought I was right and show me I was wrong. And it was always one little thing. And oftentimes it was something I had learned wrong. And I had been doing it every time. I got some tests for every problem. Because I had the same process wrong. And so everything, unless it was multiple choice, and I just kind of threw it up. I had a, if it was 4, I had a 25% chance, and I worked it. God was good. That whole process here, and that's what Philip brings out. God has the equation. We're just learning how to work it. And whatever number we come up, if it doesn't meet with God, we're wrong. You can argue with him all you want. We are wrong. Yes, sir.
When you spoke about the way that you said God is in control of the way and everything, something just came to my mind about nowadays when I get to touch down in America or any part of the world, and how it's able to clean up everything that is on the path. In other words, it's houses, cars, and everything. I look at that as something that, even something that happened during first time, is still happening today. God is can do anything, whatever he wants to do. And he has the power and control over everything that comes out of that. And it becomes my power. And for whatever he wants to do. So we should be careful. We should not forget about the past. But instead of doing whatever he did in the past,
Let's see what God can do. This 9th plague. 3 days, darkness. Go ahead and read Exodus 10:21.
And the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land, darkness which may even be felt. So Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven, and there was thick darkness in all the land 3 days.
All right. As we look at those verses together, locusts swept out. All right? Vegetation gone, but it's still light. It was dark when the locust was there, but the locust gone. So light comes back. But the judgment from the locust, it continues. God knows. Pharaoh's heart is hard. He's not going to let the people go. He goes right into that next one. Notice, tells Moses, stretch out your hand. When he stretched out that hand, he said that there is going to be darkness over Egypt. And this darkness is some serious darkness. What's different about this darkness? This is heavy darkness. Now, overseas, I've been in some dark places. Here in North Carolina, not a whole bunch of dark places. I grew up in McLeansville. That's pretty dark. You know, not a whole bunch of lights and stuff. But I've been some places. It's like dark. Like dark. When you smile, you can't see nobody. I mean, ain't no reflection going on. It's dark. It's dark. But this is even heavier than that. So dark, you can feel the darkness. Just like, you know, when the dew, humidity, when it's so heavy, you can feel the humidity around it. It's just so sticky. Imagine heavy darkness. Now, I want you to keep in mind on this, because we're going to deal with this a little later. God is in control even of darkness or the absence of light. Because God is light. In him is no darkness. So when God withdraws all light, then you feel the heavy darkness. That's crazy. No darkness at all. Brother Surround, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I was just thinking, people are trying to figure out what God's thinking, why he's so hard on us. Plain and simple. If he had to do the things he do, you couldn't do it. You mess everything up. And that's why he takes us out the way he mess things up by not following his rules.
Think if we were God, if all of us got to be God one day, how would your day turn out? I really don't want that. I can't imagine what God has to deal with on a daily basis. But he deals with it. How long is this darkness going to stay on Egypt?
3 days.
Why do you think 3? Possibly. Trinity. I told you, look at your numbers, your 7s, your 3s, your 12, all that we do. God uses numbers to represent that Trinitarian process of God, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. 3 days, conclusive in a sense, that they will know this is a plague, this is not by chance, this is not just an eclipse, this is a movement, literally, of God taking away light, and the darkness becoming so heavy. Look at this next verse. Go ahead, Senator.
That first time that I went to Jamaica, and we were at Pastor Thomas's house, he lived right across the street from the church. And we had to go down this hill, and there was no street lights out there. It was so dark, I was scared to move my feet. I felt like I was going to drop off the edge of the world. Until Pastor Brooks put out a flashlight. I was so happy.
Boy Scout.
Light, but that was just enough to show the way to the church.
Darkness. To be dark, complete darkness, all light has to go. So we've got our moonshine, or moonlight, is really not moonlight at all. Why does the moon shine? I ain't talking about alcohol either. Right? So y'all started snickering. Y'all had a flashback. Come on, man. Look at Bible study. It's reflecting the sunshine. But at the same time, the stars, there had to be stars. There were stars in Egypt. God somehow masked the stars also. That reflections and the burning lights, that whole process, God is in control of it. Look at that next verse, someone read, please.
They did not see other one another, nor did anyone righteous from this place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had lights in their dwellings.
Somebody explain that to me. Anybody? What's going on? All right. This heaviness is not just put there just to describe darkness being so dark, but literally it's a paralyzing darkness. It is so dark, so heavy, the Egyptians can feel it, and they sit there for how long? Right in the scripture. They nor did anyone rise. Now that's dark. That's some heavy darkness. That's Cindy was talking about. She didn't want to move because she felt like, you know, she was going to step off the end of the earth. This darkness is so heavy that they sit there for 3 days. No one rose in that Egyptian land. That's powerful, but we're going to deal with that second part in a moment. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Okay, this darkness, I mean, this particular plague, and all of them really, they're not producing any kind of fruit of whatsoever, nothing. So that's what sin does to us. It just paralyzes and makes us produce nothing. But the production of death comes out of it.
Correct. Darkness. And I'm seeing that more with the murder rate going on. Someone was just killed today, urban ministry, you know, right around the corner. Just people are so dark, they feel nothing now. And you can see it. If you see someone that's in blatant sin or just come to that point, you look at their eyes, and there's nothing. Oh, isn't it amazing we're in the zombie time now?
Yeah.
Yeah, more programs about zombies, dead. That's not by chance. I mean, that's not by chance. I think that's a whole process to get us comfortable to think about certain things in life. But a lot of people are coming to this point of zombie-ness by seeing it. Just so numb to do anything. This whole process. This darkness is there, but all the children of Israel, what? Now this is the key. This is critical. Just thinking about this. Goshen, the land that they're in, it's not far. It's kind of like, again, Greensboro and McLeansville. All right? But the great thing, if there is so much darkness, if there is light in McLeansville, guess what? You're going to be able to sense that. That light is going to filtrate into Greensboro. You're going to see that. That's why if you want to use a telescope, those powerful telescopes, you got to get away from the city because you've got what's called light pollution. But God somehow, He allows light to be where the Israelites are and darkness over Egypt. And then divides that, keeps the light in one place and the darkness in other. Am I in the book of Genesis?
Yes.
And God divided. Nobody can do that with God. God can. I had some bass today. Great bass. Oh, just give me a moment. Great bass. But the problem with it was big bass and it had the bone. The bone was down the middle of it. And so I had to take my knife, my paring knife, and cut it off because I wanted some fillets off of it. And I had to separate. Now I'm not good at it. I don't know, Chef. I was just concerned. I was like, I told my wife I'm gonna cut my finger. You know, because that was sharp thing, so I'm trying to do that. But you have to separate, you have to get between the bones if you want to get all the meat and stuff. And finally I got some, it was all chunky and stuff. Got my little fillets, and I was so upset that I left so much meat on there, I just threw the whole bones in and everything. Cooked that too. But God is so precise that He can cut light from dark. We can't even tell. We can tell when it gets dark, but there's still light there. That's how you can get up. Your eyes adjust, and it picks up that light. That's how you can walk across your room, well, most of us at night, without bumping into something. You adjust, you can kind of see. But God literally can filtrate all the light, and there'll be complete darkness. Wow. Go God. There was a hand. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, when I read that, I was thinking of, especially when it says that all the children of Israel had lights in their throat. The first thing that popped in my head was that was a lighthouse. That light for those that did not have the light. They're looking at that lighthouse, that beacon, that God. So that's what I took out of it. That hope of, I can see it. So maybe I can reach it, or I can get to it soon. Not right now, but soon.
And I think that point is where we are spiritually. We are that light. Here, as we're looking at that, if they could have saw the light, then it wouldn't even been dark. And that's what we are in this dark world. We are the light. And so that even though we see it getting dark, we still have light. Imagine. And that's why, a lot of theologians argue that the Antichrist is going to rise to fullness when the church is taken out, at a rapture. That particular term is not used within the Bible, but to be caught up. A lot of beliefs are that. And that would be very powerful. Many movies have come out if all the Christian folks were taken out. and darkness was allowed to go upon the face. And this is judgment for the Israelites, because we've seen grace after grace. God told them, okay, get your animals out of the way. God told them, allow this to happen. But because they were following Pharaoh, many of them are under that same plague. And we're going to see it come to an exclamation momentarily. That was another hand. Yes, sir.
I just want to say something that happened last Sunday. That was Sunday evening. We drove to Sam's Club, and before we left Sam's Club, it started raining very heavy. I want to just put this ocean and Egypt where it was light and then darkness. As soon as I hit the highway and we were close to the mall, the rain cut off. So it was raining heavy around the Costco area and the Walmart area, but when you get to the Four Seasons Mall area, it was very violent. And this can be something that is God. Because one part of the city is raining, the other part is bad apple. Yeah, so it just shows how powerful God is.
God is in control. Someone read that next word.
Instead of cross road, no serve the Lord, only let your flocks and your herd get that. Let your little ones also go with you.
What's changed?
They won't be eating now. You can take the kids, you can't rather eat.
First, the men can only go. You can't take them kids. So now this plague comes. Remember, softening. Heart still hard. So, okay, all right. Take your kids. But leave your still ransom. You gotta come. You can't leave Egypt and leave your food source. That was their sacrifice and their food source. So y'all can leave, but leave the herds, leave that stuff here, leave your milk producing processes here, so you'll always be dependent on us. Just a little side note, and I think that we need to be aware, even as Christians, as we're in this day and time, you got to ask yourself, how dependent are you on this world source? How much debt are you in? Because that can be a trick of the enemy. The more debt you are in, the more control that debt has over your life. It can squeeze out so much in our lives, and you're making a decision like, I got to do this, and you chose to get into that, and the enemy can use that to limit you being a missionary. Limit you being able to go overseas. Limit you from being able to bless somebody because you're so broke, busted, and disgusted. The enemy's taking all of that away from you. These whole processes in our lives, that pressure. And we see here at this point that as Moses gets this proclamation, Pharaoh is still trying to keep something over. Leave your herds, leave your flocks, but you can take your little ones with you. That's not enough. God said everything's got to go. Someone read that next verse.
Our livestock also go with us.
10:25.
But Moses said, you must also give a sacrifice to repent of that we will sacrifice to the Lord our God.
What do you think about that request? We talked about it. I can't leave the herds and flocks because there we do our sacrifices. We got to take them for our sacrifice. That means we need everything. Look at the next verse. Someone read 26 through 27.
Our livestock also shall go with us, not a host shall be left behind. For we must take some of them to serve the Lord our God, and even we do not know with what we must serve the Lord until we arrive there. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go.
Moses said, we can't leave anything. I love that. I love that termination. He said, not a what will be left behind. Every one of them. There is no negotiation. We will not negotiate with Pharaoh. This could be one of the proclamations. We will not negotiate with Pharaoh. No matter what he brings up, God said everything's got to go. And Pharaoh, I know he's upset, but look at that last verse that we read. And what happened again? Pharaoh. There was a hand. Yes, ma'am.
Why did he do that on purpose? Maybe I'm like,
Who?
why did God harden Pharaoh's heart on purpose?
Sure, because he's God.
Yeah.
So his glory could be seen. So that all of Egypt and the Israelites can know his power, his authority, that he's God. And again, Romans tells us he's the potter and we're the clay.
So I guess the second part to that is when he followed them into the Red Sea, was Pharaoh's heart ever softened or no?
Don't teach him a lesson, I can't tell you. Gotta come back for that lesson. Gotta make sure you get that lesson. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. But you can study ahead. It's in the book. Good question, kids. We'll get to it. Any other questions? Look at this next part. Where are we at? 10:28? Someone read.
Then Pharaoh said to him, "Get away from me. Take heed to yourself and see my face no more. For in the day you see my face, you shall die."
I want you to feel, a lot of times we don't pick up, I love, readers, we get to feel the emotion, but those exclamation marks are for a purpose. All right? So Diane, I want you to read it with excitement. I know you can do it, because I see you get excited. But you put them in exclamation mark. Give us a feel of what Pharaoh is feeling right now.
Then Pharaoh said to him, "Get away from me. Take heed to yourself and see my face no more. For in the day you see my face, you shall die."
That makes me feel it, don't it? See, Diane, I wish she could do it. Look. She's like, whoo, y'all like, don't mess with Diane, I'm telling you. That was Pharaoh. Pharaoh is just upset. He's furious. He's lost his land. Vegetation is gone, but his heart is still hard. And what did he do? Retaliate with meanness. I don't want to see you anymore. Don't talk to me anymore. Get away from me. Take heed to yourself. Because if you come in my presence again, and we're going to deal with some theological things, if you come again, you're going to die. I'm going to kill you. Which is God's grace anyway, that Pharaoh did kill Moses. Because he had full authority, at least what he thought, to kill Moses, but God had covered him. And that should be a joy to us. When God got you, the enemy can't do anything but what God allows. Period. No matter who you come up against. Look at that commentary. The Egyptian sun god, Ra, was unmasked as impotent. This is important. Every plague somehow is dealt with their little g's, their little gods. Their sun god. I mean, even now, you go back, you see the pharaohs, they always, worship the sun. Well, when there's 3 days of darkness, your sun god failed you. Right? The God did not work for you. Pharaoh told Moses to go to the wilderness with the women and the children, but to leave the flocks and herds behind. He thought this would guarantee their return. Perhaps he also wanted to replenish his own herds. But in that case, there would be nothing to sacrifice to Jehovah, and sacrifice was the reason for their departure from Egypt. When Moses was unwilling to make the demanded compromise, Pharaoh ordered him banished from his presence forever. Exodus 10:29, someone read.
So Moses said, "You have spoken well. I will never see your face again."
Somehow, Moses, he's hearing from God, and he knows it's on. You have prophetically spoke your end. Be careful what you say in anger. I'm telling you, always measure your words. And I know anger comes up and stuff. Some people curse. You can go to, all these things. Be careful. Because if those things actually happen, a death actually occurs out of that, it's going to be hard for you to get over that. Yes. Now, I've had to deal with a lot of people that have spoke stuff out of anger, and it took years for them to forgive themselves. Because they felt that they were in control. It wasn't that they were in control of that, but prophetically, God can use your words. So be careful. Measure your words, what you say. Look at this final commentary. Someone read that, please.
Strong statement. You have spoken well. I will never see your face again. Being contradicted by 11:8, where it says that Moses went out from Pharaoh in great anger. Matthew Henry suggests that never again means after this time, and 11:8 is included in the same context. He writes, so that after this interview, Moses came no more till he was sent for. Note, when men drive God's word from them, he justly commits their delusions and answers them according to the multitude of their idols. When the Gadarenes desired Christ to depart, he presently left them.
I want you to meditate on that. We're pulling this all together tonight. When you ask God to leave, you really don't want him to leave. But if he departs, he departs. Thank God for his grace and mercy. I want you to study ahead. I really want to take our time on next time to deal with the death of the firstborn. This is horrific. I want you to really study ahead. Those who have kids, I really want you to really grasp this, what's going to happen in that, so we can talk about it, because this is going to be a very emotional experience. If you lost a child, you're going to really understand it. Those who don't want to lose a child, you're going to start to understand it also, and we're going to have those questions: why would God choose this? As we prepare to pray tonight, I just want to make an announcement before I forget it. Tomorrow night, Thursday, we'll be at Calvary Christian Center at 7 o'clock. It's the day of prayer tomorrow. They've asked me to be their speaker for that night. It's supposed to be a shorter service, so it's going to start directly at 7 o'clock. So if you're available, come on out. I think our gospel choir will be ministering a couple of songs or so. So 7 o'clock at Air Harbor Road with, Calvary Christian Center with Pastor Vince Harrison. They asked us last week, and I thought it was at noonday, but it's at the evening time. So just want you to put that in the schedule. Come on to your feet. Let's close out in prayer.